Let us look at the way forward in Lagos. The National Tourism Master Plan focus on adoption of a clear, identified national position as a cultural and famous conference destination in the tourism master plan. Each of these clusters is expected to manage on a sustainable tourism planning paradigm with a flagship project. Lagos fall within the Atlantic Gateway cluster, with emphasis on heritage, beach, and cultural tourism subsectors. While local and cultural resort was recommended as a flagship project for the Atlantic Gateway, Lagos is charged with the responsibility of developing supporting tourism projects within the realm of the three subsectors. Achieving this calls for Lagos State Tourism Master Plan that is not existing, that will integrate tourism to the original San Lagoon Barrier ecosystem, strengthened by uncontrolled urbanization. You know what we are saying? Whatever any state in Nigeria is going to do must fit in within the National Tourism Master Plan. That is, every state in Nigeria must come up with a state-specific master plan to execute what they wanted. So the principal criteria for national tourism, destination planning, and selection of unique things, historic, geological, and biodiverse features. The type of recreation and leisure services to be introduced in such protected areas would usually depend on the following interrelated factors. 1. Conservation goals, visual quality, primary site features, vulnerability to developmental activities, and driving socio-political policy. What we are saying is this: whatever may happen on a state basis, there must be a political will, and this political will is rooted to meeting the needs of the people at that level. So there are quite a number of options that we said that people must move away forward. One, bearing in mind that we have less than 0.5% of area of Lagos State as protected land, but there is no forest minus what I talking about before, it's only 0.5% left in Lagos. Then there must be a conscious effort to now acquire fresh areas to be conserved or preserved, either as a marine park, as a nature reserve, as a forest reserve, as a national park. And to do that one requires an interministerial cooperation as that happened in Delhi. In other words, people in forestry department, people in environment and tourism have to consciously sit down and come up with an idea on how to go about it. But getting the NGOs involved into it. Then, in summary, what are the expectations in protected areas? Passive ones are nature study, hiking, bird watching, game watching, and scientific gardens. Then, what are the expected active recreation facilities? Swimming in natural pools, sport fishing, boating, rowing, horse jumping, field games, adventure sports, tourism. Of course, there is the issue of accommodation. Overnight lodges, either it's rural hotels, hostels, campgrounds, family destination camps, primitive camps. Then, who does what? These are our own suggestions. We do know that Lagos State private-public approach to things. Then, what is expected of public management? That is the government. The Ministry of Tourism with other ministries should come up with adequate incentives to bring the private sector as major there. We expect them in this case to have principal or governing activities in the tourism industry. And the law must be backed up with an act of the government, by the state government. Yeah, there must be functional areas, including marketing, product development, and consumer relationships. At the same time, whoever manages protected areas have to liaise with the government to bring the people in there. In other parts of the world, in other parts of the nation, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry have the control even at national level. But Lagos State has its own different framework. At national level, forestry is in the environment. Here, forestry is in agri, not in environment. Whatever it is, there must be some way of sorting things out. That is, no one single ministry can say he wants to do anything. It's an interministerial affair. Because tourism is multi-purpose, multi-professional. It's not a one-man show. Private sector. We expect that the private sector should come in the usual areas. Active recreation facilities, accommodation, alternative transportation facilities, including cable car. We do not have anywhere that is really here. Bicycles, motorcycles, cruising, and back front deck, that is the interpretive sector in most areas. Now, what is the effect of NGOs and CBOs? NGOs, the principal role of NGO lies in the work of advocating sustainable tourism. Nigeria Conservation Foundation is already doing that, lobbying for the conservation of forest ecosystems. Planetary People Initiative is another NGO in Nigeria. They focus on using tourism to meet the needs of the subcontinent. Pro Natura is based in Lagos. Triumph Future 2 project at Akata. Sept Foundation input is construction of life ecosystem facilities, the one at Ukomo, the building. Apart from advocacy work, two NGOs stand out in ecotourism operations. MCF manages the only station reserve in Lagos, 78 hectares. Pro Natura is past manager of Elephant Camp at J4, Ogun State. Liberty Foundation is involved in the Ukomo National Park and Besheta Nation Reserve up at the Kudu Ranch. But no NGO is working in Lagos. Why? Because there is no framework to accommodate NGOs. Yeah. That I can say with authority. Communities. You cannot wish away the communities, the villages and the towns that own the land. We expect, because tourism is about people. So also governance is about people. People listen to. So poor tourism is passion for the informal economic sector. CBOs are meant to perform the role of NGOs on the community basis. There have been some local ones. Lagos Beach is a local CBO. It's their property, even though it's being hijacked now by local government, which is wrong. Not in other part of the world. But the most elevated community initiative in Nigeria is at the Budu Kachuna, called the Shele Community Nation Reserve. When all these five people sit down together, the government and tribe, or who has the highest allocation, then we'll be able to have a well-coordinated, futuristic tourism program that will conserve biodiversity. Thank you very much.
I've done justice to the theme of this year's World Tourism Day, Tourism and Biodiversity. Can you please put your hands together once again? We have just learned that prudent management of tourism development. We should learn to preserve and to maintain our natural environment rather than engage in willful destruction of this environment and heritage sites, all in the name of new development. Thank you very much. I will now move on. While the lecture was going on, while the speaker was going on, and the person of Mr. Ashamu Sewanufadi. So, the chairman. I'm the chairman now. Of this elected session. Well, distinguished guests, I believe you have all heard from the speaker. Call on people, well, particularly, let me call on the Director of Research and Planning for the Laseta, that is this place that we are. While we are when the
the presenter was making his presentation, he had said he wanted to say something. Maybe he was curious of one thing or the other. The director, Mr. Olukoya, can you make your comment, please?
I want to welcome everybody to the public and our mental protection. All welcome here. There have been partners before with Lagos Ministry of Tourism and Agricultural Affairs. I remember way back we did seminar in every Spanish. I know Mr. Adejo was very kind and member of the So, but what majorly do in Africa is that we have an organization that is responsible for the control of establishment of industry in Lagos. And before an industry establishes, there are certain things that they have to do to the agency. There are certain technical papers that they have to submit for. And one of the things that we look for in this technical paper is the conservation of our landmass, how it will be utilized, and what is the effect of such industry on the environment. And I think this goes a long way to help tourism in the state. You all know, like he has said that in most cases, the commercial aspect, we want to overshadow tourism aspect. But we are in a better position to check so that we can be able to give a balance between the commercial aspect and the tourism aspect. So we have papers, we have technical papers that any new development that is coming into the state, we ask them to submit these technical papers, and during the review of these technical papers, we have a forum where it's a public forum, whereby of course the paper the project is put in the newspapers.
I'm outside the Secretary General of the Ethnic Minority and Indigenous Rights Organization of Africa. By that organization, I'm the focal point for the International Alliance of Indigenous and Tribal People of the Tropical Forest. This organization represents small people who are in strategic eco-tourism zones all over the world. And by the virtue of my being the focal point for the International Alliance in West Africa, we have got the opportunity to visit many countries in the world, particularly where indigenous people live. For instance, in America, the main tourist countries, majorly Costa Rica and Brazil. When you come to Europe, you're talking of places like Spain. When you come to Africa, you're talking of places like Kenya, South Africa, Zambia, and Ghana, obviously. And when you go to Asia, you talk of Thailand with their ancient museums. You talk of Indonesia with the exotic areas of Bali. The World Tourist Organization, they are aware, is a product of the Rio Earth Conference of 1992. And two main conventions came out of that Rio Conference of 1992 as a result of a lot of research. That is the UN Convention on Biological Diversity and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. They are two complex conventions of the United Nations, and they all relate to the human factor. That human beings, as the lecturer has said, is taking over by so-called development that is no longer to be there. The fight is therefore there, we have the point of no return. We have the play we are taking to taking the want to pass that something. Besides this, there is a museum that particularly presented the history of slavery from the 15th century of practical picture. And here is a site that gives you a pictorial history of what happened. Now, if that place is destroyed, it's no longer in existence, the geographical means only the theory will be telling the people. Whereas the practical side would have been the best side. This involves both Christians, Muslims, Armenians, and others, who also go for tourism, for instance, to Israel. Yes, they go to this very area that they go to, in this area where the God was born, when you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to prime and spiritual area that you go to. Because of the child immigration here, I'm saying that he has said it just now, Lagos has not got a very comprehensive policy on tourism. But Lagos is using a serious danger. The climate change convention has said that Lagos is below sea level. And if the city is misused, ocean surge can take off the program in the next few years. And it's not funny. That the surge will be so much that you can't get the lorry. That is the latest development in the time of the avalanche of the massive environment. What we can talk now, we realize that in colonial days, London, Phoenix, and other areas. But today, the city that was only to be less.
The permanent secretary of tourism and rural development. As tourism, the permanent secretary of tourism. But I want us to not go away with this message that the issue of environment is so important at this time. We all know what is happening all over the world. And what the Minister of Environment is doing is to make sure that we have a beautiful, a clean, healthy, friendly environment that can boost economic growth and tourism in Lagos State. And we are doing all we can to make sure that we attract investment and also we advance tourism. Lagos has a lot of challenges, we all know. But I think what we need to do is to embrace green living. Let's start doing simple things. Let's embrace green habits, clean habits, like the speaker said. Because it's like we don't think we can do whatever we like with the environment. And the planet is reacting back and saying you have degraded, you have bastardized enough. And if you must continue to take resources of the environment, which is the air, the land, and water, then you have to know what you do. And that is what sustainable environment means. That we don't want to just develop for our own generation. We want to leave something for the future generations to use for their own development. So my message to all our private people, investors, is that please, as you want to gain from the environment, make sure you throw something back. It's so worrisome when I visit some of the history and some of the big facts, like all our supermarkets. There was, I think 2,000 days ago, I went to one of them. I thought that I wanted to use the toilet. You'd be amazed what people do. They don't have toilets that their customers can use, and we want to continue to make money. So I think it is our time for all of us to start thinking. If I continue to make money out of the environment, using the resources, what am I throwing back? It's all this put on our faces now. Planet Earth is reacting back. We have all these extreme weather conditions, and people are saying this is September, it's still raining, and it is a lesson for us. As far as we are concerned, Minister of Environment, we are doing everything possible to make sure that our sister ministries can do their own activities at their mandate, like tourism, like health, like education. If the environment is conducive, if the environment is clean, if the environment is healthy, then we can spend less on health bills. we can spend less on other that we can attract investment. So as you celebrate today's World Tourism Day, please put it at the back of your mind that we have to live sustainably. Don't let us gain all we can get from the environment without putting anything back. On behalf of the Commissioner for Environment, I wish all of us successful celebration, and I hope that we take all the lessons back and apply them to our day-to-day living. Thank you and happy celebration.
Another round of applause for the Marketing Strategy Ministry for Environment Committee, Adi Baba.
Hello. What is done is too much. It may be more than that. Can I recognize you from the Council for Arts and Culture?
Also to all observed. I want to congratulate the speaker that has just delivered his paper now. The entire package was all about developing tourism. And I could see that he actually did justice to developing tourism into biodiversity. He was making comments on landscapes, environmental ecosystems, and so on. But I believe in Africa here, we could do more than that. In order to develop tourism, emphasis should also be placed on human fossils. We have read and researched into human materials that were discovered in Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania. We have also seen human materials that were discovered all over the world. We have seen, particularly even very close here at the Ueleru in Ondo State, we've seen places where people that lived in the past dated for so many years. We have also seen artifacts. We've seen materials that belong to the Old Stone Age and the Late Stone Age. But in Nigeria here, we are not doing much to develop tourism. If people could come to come and see our artifacts, where are the artifacts? Online information we don't have. The libraries are not a queue. How then do you develop tourism? How do you attract people to come home here? So the academia, the students, the researchers must do everything possible to make sure that we have things that are not peculiar or not that are not available in other countries. These are the areas, these are the things the tourists are coming here to see. So everything has already been done on the ecosystem. But human forces, what is happening? The skeletal remains of the people that live in the past. Thank you very much.
Yes, lecturer, actually, this is more than a lecture, it's more of a Bible. Because I was trying to browse and I said, this man must have done a great job. But like, sorry, if I was thinking probably I'll be talking from politics because I'm a politician, but I will want to say one or two things. When you were talking, actually start pushing it back to residual or concurrent. Because when I'm talking about transmission today, the federal government is still holding on to it financially. There's no way you can talk about generation and distribution without talking about transmission. Until that is done and we review that, tourism will just be talking as discourse. We will not be able to get to our destination. Number two is what we call fiscal federalism. In the real sense, we are not practicing federalism in Nigeria, we are practicing unitary system of government. Where the bulk of those things is the federal government. Where today, Lagos State is generating over 6.5 billion from VAT. And what is coming back to Lagos at the end of the day is not to half of that money. Today, when you are talking about, as a special state, that the Lagos State is accounting for about 65% of all the economic activities in Nigeria today. But what is coming back to Lagos, a special allocation, nothing like that. When federal government was leaving Lagos, they left assets. They left liabilities, they took off assets. What can we talk about? All the work, they collect royalties, nothing is coming back to Lagos. And in the face of positive funds, all this cannot be done because you can only talk when there's money to move your dreams forward. I want to talk about interministerial cooperation, like directly said. Yeah, if you can see today, Dr. Ani Baba is there. You appreciate the fact that whenever we are talking about Lagos State, first thing that we are thinking about is the environment. And you appreciate what has gone in terms of resources for the past 3 years in making Lagos great. And that is not done in isolation. Through Ministry of Physical Planning, through Ministry of Tourism, I think we have our best of our relationship, and I think we can still go forward. I just want to correct that impression that probably we are working cross-focus. No, we have been working in tandem because I think we have one common goal to move Lagos in this place. Lastly, like to repeat what Mr. Ani Baba said, attitudinal change. One of the big problems we have in Nigeria is attitude.
The attitude is that what you cannot give out, you expect. We'll be castigating our government, but when you look inward, when you have you retrospect and give it critical appraisal, what our own activities to our environment, is it good or bad? Today somebody will tell you, oh, Lagos is getting cleaner. Tomorrow you see some people, where we just spend a lot of money to evacuate debris. They go down there and put it again. I won't move in Lagos forward.
To foster awareness among the international communities of the importance of tourism and social, cultural, and political values. These are the things that most of us don't understand, and I believe we need to know about what tourism is in Nigeria. It's a fast-growing sector in the world. It is the #1 sector in the world now, ahead of crude oil, which Nigeria is even trying to emulate other countries by trying to promote it, but we have not fully tapped it. And another point in which I'm going to highlight is that we don't properly inform our people about tourism and its development. For this world tourism, most of the people don't even know what is going on in today. Even for some of the students that do browse on the internet and some of us that do go extra mile to get information on this world tourism day. You can see the venue was changed from Lagos to Abuja, which is not supposed, at least people should know about what is going on, but we are not aware of that. And another point is that the students are not being carried along with the events of the way these things are being done in Nigeria, because a lot of us, we are just saying that we are studying tourism. We don't know what tourism entails, except for few that do go extra mile. Like we are at the National Museum one day, and one of the people there was telling us that how can we develop tourism? He was asking us as a student. The man was drafted from the media sector to come and develop the tourism sector, which is not supposed to be. We have professionals in this field, like our farm tech. We all know he was a versatile person in this field of tourism. These are the people that we need to put in position to develop tourism for us. And by so doing, we also will develop our own form of tourism in Nigeria and take it to the higher level. These are the few points that I want us to realize. And also on the area of tourism sites. Mostly when we students, we go to different tourism sites, they ask us about, while it is true that, yes, there's a lot of shortcoming from the federal government in the area of power, which I'm sure, as you know, is a budget, and it should be celebrated. It should be followed by an initiative that would lead to the preservation of that 0.5% that the Speaker has mentioned. Thank you very much.
But it also requires a lot of people coming up, including the LASEPA, the Minister of Agri, the Forestry, the Rural Development, and so on and so forth, coming up together to come up with a legislation in order to enhance the biodiversity. For instance, the Minister of Tourism is not in charge of biodiversity. Other people are in charge. But for us to move forward, for us to set up maybe a park, a sanctuary, a waterfront destination, all these we have to move together in order to move the state forward. But I don't want to bug you with all what has been said. I just want to let you know that a lot of things have been done. Can we call on the lecturer to make the final remarks before we move? Thank you very much.
All protocols one more time. I want to appreciate the contributions from the floor. I think quite a number of us still have some other things to say. I believe you'll be able to put it across to the permanent secretary at the fullness of time. But I want to say one thing, that the man that plans to succeed, planning requires thinking. We think less, we talk more. And the beginning of success is for us to bring us change as a nation, as a race, is the ability to do what is right at the right time. and that is institutional framework. We must accept it's not on the ground. There is no emotions on this, whether we are defending Lagos State or we are critiquing Lagos State. We don't have institutional framework to drive tourism, biodiversity in the next 20 years. What we have are patches of statements. Intent is different from policy. There's different from policy and intent. What we have are intent, not policy. Policy is time specific. Policy has standards. Policy has targets. Thank you.